searching for answers. They were there all the time, but I just couldn't see them. In my heart I was blind. I believed in your story. Now I know it wasn't true. And I see who I am now, and I know what to do. And I'm breathing in, and I'll start again. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. Just turn around and go. I can't do this anymore. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know that I let you go. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. I want you to know.
Hello, greetings. Happy Friday from Davao City, Philippines. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Nell, Nilette, Amy, Brent, Consolee, that's a new name. Eric, Joanne. Can you scroll down for me, Joel, please? Mary, Michael, Howell, Shannon, Stefan, and Tim. Welcome. As always, super excited to be here with you guys. Yeah, we have some interesting stuff to show you today. As always, don't really have really much of a framework, just sharing directly from the heart. And so we're really excited to be here with you guys. Oh, it looks like Powell's coming from the cosmos today. No Sweden. Awesome. So, what's Jap? Japan, I'm assuming? Or, oh, yeah. And Ola from Toronto. Welcome. Super excited. So yesterday was obviously we had announced that February the 1st was going to be the last day for the free trial. So we made an executive decision that we're going to give you guys until February the 7th to actually invite your friends, your family to experience the live stream of us doing the group transformation. It's going to be an amazing event. And so you want to make sure that you're getting your family, your friends there. And so what that means is get them to sign up and go through the portal as well. I would make sure that they're going through the questionnaire, they're doing the transformation with Dawn, and whatever, they'll be able to come in and join that session live. So that's number one. Number two, actually, no, I'll say that for later. So I'll just kind of share from you what I was just doing my divine focus right before this. And, it's funny because like back in the day, I'm always like, whoa, what should I talk about? Like I need to have some kind of like something to talk about. But now it just kind of flows. And it's interesting because, I've, like I told you guys before, I've done so many different just built so many different businesses. I was in a part of many different programs, whether it's direct sales, affiliate marketing, network marketing, and I did really well with those. For example, one of them that I remember, Jamie actually mentioned this yesterday. He was a part of Enagic. Well, I was also a part of that same company, and I had built that company for literally, I think it was about 7 years. That was like the longest build that I ever built Enagic for, or a company, right? 7 years straight. I didn't do anything else. I had seen so many crypto pump and dumps come and go. And a lot of my friends were like, hey, you need to do this. And I was like all in on that company, the water company, change your water, change your life. Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of people that change their water. They're still doing the same old toxic bullshit. And I was one of them, right? And it's like, no matter how much of the Kangen water I drank, I was still smoking the weed, still in unhealthy relationships. I was still doing the same stuff that I was doing before the water. And interestingly, and I'm not knocking it, even though it kind of is a little bit fugazi, but that's a side note. It's interesting because we here at I Am Divinity, we're truly helping people create, I want to say, a change. You heard me say this before, but it's more of a remembrance of who you truly are and helping you step back into your inner knowing, your inner power. And I actually made a Facebook status yesterday. I was talking about how, when Don was on here the other day, he's talking about like you don't have to wake up in the morning and tell yourself, affirm the color of your eyes. And I was like, I don't wake up in the morning and tell myself that I have green eyes. They just naturally are. And so it's interesting because that was something I used to teach. I had a coaching business at one point as well, and I was teaching people on how to write the affirmations, like I am confident, I am worthy, and all these things. But that's operating from a level of belief. And whenever you have to believe in something, there's still a level of faith, meaning there's still like almost like a lack. But where we're operating from and where we're teaching you how, not teaching you, but empowering you to do it yourself is from a level of knowing, of true empowerment. And so what we're doing here with I Am Divinity is, I mean, it's never been done. It has never been done. There's not another company on this planet, in this universe that we know of, that is helping people have instant and permanent transformations. And not only that, there's a lot of financial companies out there. There's so many now, especially, right? Like if you looked at maybe like 10 years ago, there was like only a couple. But now there are so many. It's flooded with financial programs of, hey, make it was funny. Like I saw I'm not gonna like call him out, but like this guy that I was working with, he said that he made like, oh, I figured out the code. I cracked the code. I made 17,600% in 1 week. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, bro, I'm like, if you made 17,600% in a week, you're not out here marketing it. I guarantee you that. Like you're just chilling, hanging out, right? And so it's like there's so many of these programs. And so with what we're doing at I Am Divinity, our focus is helping you become empowered from within. And then as a bonus and as like the cherry on top, we have the best of the best, right? We have Yako, who's an institutional trader trading billions of dollars, and we get the ability to invest into that and to get a piece of that. And we have the crypto fund, which Josh is just killing it now ever since he's gotten into his divinity. It's like he doesn't have to force anything. It's literally just flowing. Like, I mean, you heard some of the things that Jamie said the other day. And so, yeah, I'm super excited. And to tie it all in, we have our affiliate plan, which I'm really excited to get that rolling for you guys because I know obviously a lot of you guys came in commission for the first run to make some money, but now it's shifted, and we're really happy that you guys see what we're doing here at I Am Divinity. But we also want to add in a little reward, with every single any of the revenue streams that you actually refer to. We see you as a partner, so we want to help you get compensated for all of those things. And I'll kind of wrap this up later and kind of tell you what's going to be rolling out here in the next couple of days. But with that being said, I'm going to bring up Mr. Jamie and have him bring the fire as always. So, Jamie, that is you, handsome sir.
Button. There we go. Okay. This looks familiar. I've been here before. Hey, Powell. Great to see you, bud. Michael, Linda, Brent, familiar faces. Cool. So, I want to know where you're at in your process. I was just correcting someone in the chat, as Don always does when we use the word more. So someone in our chat with their update, Marianne, said, I'm feeling more peaceful since going through this process. And I just let her know that FYI, Don always points out to us that the word more is a very poor measurement, because you could mean like this much more. You could mean 1% more. So a better update, a more helpful update is, before I had 20% peace throughout my day, and now I have 80% peace throughout my day, for example. So I would like to know, as a measurement, those of you that have experienced your divinity through the process, what percentage are you holding that divinity throughout the day? What percentage of the day are you holding it? Powell says 80. Congratulations. Michael, 70. Powell, 88. Okay, wow, just moved up 8 points. That was quick. Good job. Vanessa, 80. Awesome. Any more? So my next question, Eric says 65. Thank you, Eric. Thanks for being honest. So my next question is, why is it whatever the number is? Why isn't it 100? Linda says, yesterday was a bad day for me, about 50, but it has been 80s. Awesome, Linda. So Eric says old conditioning. Michael says lack focus and clarity. Vanessa, very honest answer with the haven't surrendered completely. I love that. I felt some surrendering just in that comment, Vanessa, so congratulations. Linda says, I catch myself when I am not in the high vibe. Powell, stupid people around me. Attaboy. So yeah, the surrender piece is huge. And actually, I had a moment today. It was more like an hour, where I was a little frustrated. I was telling Sam, I was getting in my humanness. So we have all these projects that are going on, you know, the crypto bank, just as one example, that 4 months ago it was supposed to be 2 weeks. And so it's like I've been saying 2 weeks for a couple months now. And that is like, man, like why isn't that done yet? And then we had our funnel guy that Will was saying, oh, he's not getting back to us. And then I'm like, okay, like I'll message him, you know? And so today was some of my humanness from before was trying to get back in, which is really a surrender piece for me. Because I obviously been used to making things happen, right, on that human level. And the surrender is all about 100% trust in the divinity, 100% trust in the universe supporting you, right? And I felt it in that hour. We went to the gym and it was hitting me there. Went in the sauna, did the divine focus, and then that brought clarity to me. It was like, this is what it is. You're attempting to go back into the old control and make things happen. Just surrender, let it go. All of these pieces are coming together in their own way, in their own timing. And there's no reason for you to get involved and control it. But yeah, it was about an hour, I would say, in the middle of the gym. And then we went to the cafe after the gym, after the sauna, and I shared with Sam what that was. And for those of you that have done the personal developments, the spiritual developments, had success in any regard, like I did, that was the attachment to that old, like, making it happen, you know, grinding it out, you know, like all the what we've been taught in the development. And the worst part is, if you were successful, like I had success in that program, that's where there can be an attachment, right? It's hard to surrender that if it's given you results. I remember Marty's not on the call today, but he shared a few calls ago that was his biggest thing too. He's done millions in business, and all of his results in business were made from that human intellect ego. And so to surrender that can be tough. But it's going to be specific to you. So I really just look at that, go deep within yourself of why you're choosing to be at that number, because that is what it is. It is a choice. Like today, I was choosing to focus on the one thing or the couple things that in my own human intellect are taking longer than they should, you know, not knowing what's really happening in the unknown of it all and why things are orchestrated that way. And I was getting involved, and that's what tripped me up. And it wasn't until I sat with myself in the sauna, I was like, what am I, like, there's all of this amazingness that's coming together effortlessly. Like this morning, I had breakfast, and our audio sound guy, he did our studio here. He was here. So I was having breakfast, and he shows up. And next thing you know, he's telling me exactly all the pieces that we need for the event here in Davao in a few months, our world's largest instant transformation at the world's largest indoor arena. And he's telling me, okay, we need a committee for this, and this. And as he's telling me, I just like smile and nod, and I say, I trust that you can handle all that. You know, I trust you can orchestrate it. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So something as big as putting on the world's largest instant transformation, it was literally, for me, there was zero effort. right? It was a car ride where I brought up the guy's name that built the arena, and then our sound guy, his name is Sam too. We call him Uncle Sam, not to confuse with the taxes in the U.S. But we call him Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam says, "Oh, I did that guy's home cinema. You know, I'm really good friends with his right-hand man." I said, "Awesome. Can you find out the earliest date that they'll be open so we can book it?" "Oh yeah, totally. I'll coordinate it all." So it was a few second conversation, and then this was the follow-up today. Here at breakfast, he shows up, and I didn't even know he was coming over. And I sit down, and there he is. And he's like, "Yeah, this is what we need. You know, I'll put it all together, and all we need from your end is a design of the digital ticket." And we sent that off to Will and the team, and that was it. And so it's like the effortlessness that I didn't have to get in the human make it happen control thing at all to put together something that huge. And so then that's how I caught myself today. It was like, why am I like, who cares that it's been 3 months? Like, obviously there's a deeper meaning of why it hasn't. And just one of the examples is, if it was completed a month ago, like on time, we would have had to change it all to IAMDIVINITY as we went through this rebranding that we wouldn't have expected or been able to know a month ago. We just did in like the last week or two. So I see a couple comments. We got Michael says, "Some of us are addicted to having to struggle or efforting." Yes. Okay, that brings up a great example. I got a great example for you on that. Linda, love that 100% supporting me. Yeah, surrender and all the pieces are coming together. Question, where is the piece that we need to take action? Yeah, that's a great question. And that's something that it's just flows in the moment. Like you'll just know. It's like I used an analogy with the guys here about 2 weeks ago when Sam and I had finished our massage, and it was it the first day or the second day when I was like couldn't even drive because the Kuala Lumpur state was hitting me so bad? The first day. Okay, so the first day I'm sitting in the car, I'm like I'm saying, like where are we? Like I was downloading that Kuala Lumpur 1,000 consciousness state. And it had been about 1.5 years since I accessed that. Like imagine that, right? A 1.5 years choosing to not be in this ultimate bliss state that I was at. And sure, like comparatively, I was much higher than I had ever been in the past, but I still had reached that and decided to go back down for 1.5 years. So anyway, I accessed that, and we're driving, and I'm like, "Oh, Sam," like, and I'm going like 20 kilometers on the new coastal highway. Like I'm like, is it just me or am I going really slow? And it's just like I was finding my body again because the state was so overwhelming. And so we're driving. I'm like, yeah, you got to do the directions or something. And then he even gets distracted on the directions, and we passed a turn, and I said, Sam, like, was that the turn? And I had never been that way at nighttime or at all. Actually, I haven't gone that way. It's a new highway. Anyway, he looks it up and he's like, "Oh yeah, that was the turn." And so I told Sam in that moment, it's like, yeah, like I don't even need Google now because I'm accessing, like, it's like getting turn by turn directions from God, you know. And so that's what I would say to that, Linda, as far as when to take actions. Like you're going to get those turn by turn in the moment, that intuition, right, where it will tell you, "Oh, call this person or say this at that moment," or whatever it is. But it's not like sit down for 8 hours and work hard. That doesn't happen. Vanessa says, "And that is a beautiful thing. It is a choice that we can change at any moment. Sometimes it is so easy, at other times not so much. The ego." Yeah. And yes, Vanessa, we do have a lot of massages almost every day. The Philippines, they're like, I don't even know, $5 an hour, $10 an hour if you go to like the best places. So yeah, that's like getting a Starbucks in the US, you know. So we tend to do that almost every day after the gym. So going back to being addicted to the struggle, now I know all about addictions. You guys have heard about all about my addictions. So, but really if we focus on the solution, it's that following the process of going into those divine focuses, right? Like I knew when it hit me today at the gym, I'm like, I cut my workout early and I just went into the sauna and they were still going at it because I knew what I needed in that moment was the divine focus. I didn't need, some more exercises for my body. It was like, I'm out of sorts here. I can feel it. So, and that was it. It was like 15, 20 minutes in the sauna and boom, like I'm back and I'm getting the download of exactly what it was that was taking me out, right? It's just like, no, you got to surrender 100% trust. Like you don't know what's coming. So like let go of that human control thing. Anyway, Will, can you pull up Joshua on my Facebook? So I want to show this to you guys. We've shared it with you, Joshua's video before. He's the one that got in the car accident for 4 years, was using a walker. And it was 2 years ago that he worked with Don and went through the process. And the very next day, some of you have seen the video, he's sprinting, right? So this is Joshua's Facebook. You want to scroll up? I encourage all of you to follow him and remind him about how free he used to be. I'm just kidding, but scroll up just so they can see that it's him. Go to the top. Yeah, okay, so yesterday, right? Yesterday, Joshua Gabby. So go down to what happened next. Okay, so this is Joshua's story, right? What happened next? I got in a car accident. The doctors told me I'd never walk again, even with a walker. My life was over as I knew it. With tears of uncertainty in my eyes, I decided to take the ladder and refused to let the opinion of some doctor stop me. I went all in on my dream and my belief, keyword belief, of standing with a walker, even if it was just for seconds before falling. That was step one. Then walking again with a walker, that was step two. And step three is getting to without, which I'm still working towards. Keyword working. So Joshua is sleeping right now. He's probably going to be waking up in the next couple hours, I assume. But I posted the video just to remind him on his post if you go down. So I said, belief had you in a walker, but knowing had you running. Right. So remember so amazing that Joshua was able to even get into the walker when the doctors told him that he wouldn't, right? That's going from the negative belief to the positive belief. But as we've learned, as we know now, those are both the ego. They're both toxic. So the belief system, right? The working, the belief, the intellect, the ego has him back in that walker for the last 2 years. But yeah, check out the video if you haven't seen it yet. Running, holding, and that's not that thing is heavy, that walker. I've helped him in person, like get around before, and it's not easy. So he's carrying it while running. Yeah, exactly, Linda. Linda says, wow, how can someone experience running and go back to the old belief? Absolutely fascinating how tricky the ego can be, right? And just how much we're addicted to that, whatever the attachment is. In Joshua's case, it's the attachment to the victim identity. The fact that he had to take zero response, or has to now take zero responsibility for anything because he's disabled, so he needs everyone else to help him around him. And that can be so then imagine in that moment going through the transformation, it's like you see everything, that literally everything is your responsibility. And that is a tough pill to swallow, especially if you've been, used to being a victim, right? And that it's always someone. So I'm gonna hit you, Powell, with the stupid people around, right? So again, that's just giving our power to other people. It's playing that victim role when really to take our power back, it's 100% responsibility. Even Vanessa sharing with us yesterday that she was sick with the C word, and the examples we have of people going through the process, realizing they created cancer and uncreating that. And it's like, whoa, how deep does this responsibility thing go? Like, we are talking 100%, not 99.9%. It's 100% responsibility for everything that we're creating in our life. But yeah, imagine experiencing that. So the reason I use Joshua as such a powerful example is because you can see it physically. He experienced it physically, right? For some of us, it's like we're getting over toxic emotional patterns, and those can be harder to recognize, right? I remember Sam and I talking about the abuse he was receiving in his old marriage, and it took a conversation, and I had to look at this too, because I was also a victim in my previous relationships. And then realizing, like, just the one thing with the weed addiction that both Sam and I shared, it was like noticing how that weed addiction was emotional abuse to our partners. But that's really hard to pick up, right? So like you're now connecting with the weed, which is really hard to connect intimately with your partner when you're high. And so literally it's emotional abuse. You're disconnecting from that relationship and not even realizing, because you're high out of your mind all the time. So again, it's just like the physical abuse that we get is easy to recognize, but the emotional abuse, it can definitely fly under the radar if you're not fully looking at the whole picture. Vanessa said, and yes, once we know more, we cannot go back, and it is a huge responsibility. That's totally it, right? And I haven't talked to Joshua about this for 2 years now. He called me about 6 months ago when he unblocked me and congratulated us on Athena being born. Didn't mention anything about his transformation, and I didn't go there either. I was, letting him bring that up. But we haven't even talked about it yet. But imagine having that experience of running after 4 years of being a walker, running, and then attempting to forget that experience, like attempting to hide from that experience. Like, there's just no way. And Sam and I were talking about it on the way here, that he must have to use some type of substance abuse to like cope with that, whether it's the weed or the alcohol or the prescription drugs or whoever. There's so many different food, whatever it is, to really try to like numb that pain of hiding from the truth of what you experienced. It's not easy. I know for me, when I ran away from Dawn a couple times there, I had to drink 10 times more. I had to smoke 10 times more weed, and it still didn't even do anything for me to numb and like forget, like escape from the reality that I was now fully responsible for. Powell says, yes, you're right. That's why it's so good to listen to you, and you get a lot of aha moments. Yeah, we're all on this journey together, man. It's the more we all share together, it's like when Sam showed up, I'm like downloading all of this experience that happened to me over the last 4 years, all the pitfalls and everything that he can pick up in 4 hours, and we're seeing that happen. I mean, Gilbert, for example, that was able to get over his physical pain from his car accident in 2015, just by, I thought he went through the transformation, but we found out just from listening to our live streams, he was able to get over all that. His weed addiction, 19 years, got over that. He said he had narcissism too. And it was just tuning into this live stream and hearing our different shared experiences that brought him to that. Like, how powerful. Eric says, it's been proven over decades that we have the power to heal ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. Vanessa, it is almost like illusions dissipate and the real is all there is, and the world becomes much smaller. Yeah, definitely. A lot of illusions. And that can be scary, right? If you have identities wrapped up in all those illusions, and then all of a sudden, poof, like they're gone. You're like, oh shit, like where am I? Who am I? You know, and all that. So easy to cling back. But the solution again is sitting in that divine focus more and more, and doing these daily updates, like just recognizing all this stuff together. Joanne says weed legalized in Canada to shut people down emotionally. Yeah, it's crazy what they're doing in Canada. They're even giving heroin out for free to drug addicts now. It's pretty insane. But yeah, if you if you want to control people, I mean, give them some weed, they'll be happy no matter what you do. Eric says, how could he see that video and not reach out to find that place of serenity? Yeah, you know, and I'm sure when he wakes up, one of two things going to happen. I've done it before though. I've posted that video on the comments before, and he just deletes them as fast as he can, right, as soon as he sees it. But I'm hoping one of them will get through one day and he'll reach out and be like, all right, man, you know, I've been an idiot, like help me out here. Let's get back into this divinity thing. And I'm willing to risk the relationship for that. I'm sure he'd be triggered and the ego would be pissed off for me doing what I'm doing, but I'd rather put that in his face than, you know, have some fake friendship and just try to avoid even confronting what happened. Michael said self-deception is very strong, especially when you do many of the other worldly programming stuff. Yeah, I mean, you don't, unless you have a tool process like we have and you actually commit and surrender to that process. I mean, literally everything else that you're consuming is from the ego, like everything. And many of you have experienced that after going through the process. Is like, you can't even listen to the people you were listening to before, or tuning into the same content you were before, or any of that, because it's like, it's hard to listen to because it's so not where you're at. And everything becomes really clear. Like you can see the illusions now, right? It's like taking off those contact lenses and seeing for everything for the truth of what it is. What's that movie? It reminds me of Free Guy. Anyone seen Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds? He's an NPC, non-playing character, right? And then he finds the glasses of one of the players and sees this whole new world that everyone's playing in. It's kind of like that, right? Like you go your whole life in this illusion that you're just this banker, whatever his job was. Then he puts his glasses on and sees this whole new world that he can create and do all this, has all this power. Sharin says, how does one deal with the mass murders in Gaza? I'm really struggling with this as I have a personal connection to it, and I feel so enraged when I think about it. Yeah, you know, there's many examples of that ego, and obviously it's tough when those things happen. We have so many examples of the negativity on the planet. Really all you can do, just like what it is sharing today, and I know it's not as an extreme as of an example, but it's the same tool, right? It's the ego is going to get you to look at whatever's wrong and think the worst of it, even if 99% of everything else is beautiful and miraculous. So it's really just catching yourself and tuning back into that divine focus, right? That's your only, and just knowing that you're not helping anyone when you're going into a rage and the ego, whereas when you're turning in and turning your light as bright as possible, that is having a massive impact on the world. I don't know if I've seen your name before. I don't know if you've been in our previous calls, but Dr. Hawkins, that created the consciousness scale, 0 to 1,000, he said one person at 700, which is what our process is helping people experience, is the level 700 and above. One person at 700 is as powerful as 70 million to counteract the negativity. 70 million, one person. So we just focus on the solution. You know, there's nothing that we can do. Those things are out of our control. But that's why we're so fired up. We're here every day to talk about this vision of raising humanity's consciousness to 700, because the murders and the wars and all the nonsense that's going on in the world is a symptom of the ego. And so we could focus on each symptom one by one. We'd be, going after it for many more lifetimes, not solving it that way. Or we could focus on the cause of all the symptoms, which is the state of consciousness. The world is at around 210 last time we checked, out of 1,000. And so we're doing everything we can to get everything to 700 so that all those symptoms don't exist anymore. The best thing you can do is get rid of those symptoms and that toxicity and the patterns within yourself. And then, pay it forward, pass on the gift, like what we're doing. Vanessa, but what a gift for Joshua if he confronts and accepts the help. Yeah, exactly, Vanessa. At least he may still be in denial about it, but he truly does have an option now. Whereas before he was unconscious, didn't have a solution, was searching and searching, did everything that he could, right, to overcome that on the human level and the belief level. But now he can't claim ignorance, right? How do you claim ignorance after that? Now you do have a choice, right? A very conscious choice. So I trust that Joshua will come around, especially if we keep talking about him. Linda says, so about the Gaza, so that's the ego that made this terrible thing happen. And now we have a tool to change this. Also, so Jesus was here to teach us this higher consciousness, but we were not ready to embrace. Yeah, that's a great example, Linda. Jesus is one of the more popular known beings that was at that level of 1,000. And so everything that he shared was at that level of 1,000. And it was extremely hard for the world to, I don't know what the collective consciousness was at that time, but if we're at 210 now, I could imagine it was somewhere under 100, Hitler being at 75, to give you another extreme example. And look at how many people followed Hitler, right? Because of where the collective was. So yeah, the only thing we can do that's in our power is taking back our power and get it and tuning into the truth of the light, and just knowing that all of those things will dissipate just as they do in us as individuals, right? The only thing that I could do to get over my alcoholic, substance abuse pattern, weed addiction every day, narcissism, you name it, like the only thing that I could do personally to get over that personally was to tune into the divine focus, right? To go through this process to unravel the ego. And so that's what we need to do as a collective. And the more of us that come together, that's what's happening. And whenever something comes in like that, it happens to me too, where I'm just pissed off at whatever Alex Jones said is the new, demon of the world. It can, and I've seen Don get caught up a little bit too, but the difference is just, shifting that as fast as possible, and just knowing like that's just the ego. It's just the ego trying to disempower you, pull you out, get you to focus on the worst. You don't have to look much further than the news to see how the ego plays out. Like when's the last time you tuned to the CNN and it told you about the miracles that happened that day on the planet? Like, not gonna happen. My brother Jesse's on his way from Vancouver. He's stopping in Hong Kong. He's mid-flight right now. And he said he checked the weather. He said, oh man, are you okay? Like, I see all over the news for the weather in the Philippines that Davao is completely flooded, and like that no one can evacuate and all this stuff. I'm like, nope. We just drove through like half the city and everything is completely fine and normal as usual. But it's just like the ego will tune into the 4 people in some faraway village outside the city that are up to their knees in water and they can't leave because all they have is a bicycle, and it'll just portray this, magnify how intense and negative it is. And that's what that programming is doing, right? That television programming, it's telling you how destructive, how negative, and how strong the ego is, right? That's what it's doing, so that you will give away your power. You'll be completely full of fear and anxiety, and the ego won, right? It has control over you. Nessa, I love my bicycle. So yes, back to the divinity. It's really just for those of you that have gone through the process, 2 minutes is all you need to really just boom, right back up in that just internal perfection. That was Don's second book that he wrote. It's called Internal Perfection. And that was just, the title alone was challenging all my beliefs when I met him after going through all this personal development, right? I'm always going for the next level, becoming the better version of myself, and the levels never ended in those programs. Just had to keep paying the next admission for the next higher program. Oh, well, it didn't hold because you got to go to the elite package. Oh, well, that didn't work because you need the quantum leap package. And it was like never ending. And guess what? Still didn't hold. I tried them all. But yeah, super empowering that, you just need a few minutes. Just need a few minutes to tune it in. In fact, let's all do it together right now for 2 minutes. So close your eyes. And for those of you that have been through the transformation, recall that moment when all that ego energy, all those toxic patterns were just boom, gone in a second. That moment when you were free to be you. And for those of you that haven't gone through the process, what are you waiting for? It's free. But recall a supernatural moment that you've had in your life. Not an achievement, nothing external, but something that just made you go, wow. Maybe one of those, God, if you do exist, show me a sign. And then you got a sign. One of those. Just feel that energy. And for those of you that have been here many times, I encourage you to discover what I did. Focus on your lower back. There's an energy center there that I've realized you can consciously shoot energy throughout your entire body from that place. Like almost like you're just flexing your lower back. Just sending a light throughout your entire body. This is who you are. All of the externals an illusion. The drama, the chaos, the ego can't exist in this. And the more you spend here, more time you spend here every day, less the external, the ego, the chaos and drama, the less of it you'll even see. Okay, welcome back. I could do that all night, and I will be after this call. But that's it. Yes, Tiffany. Powell said yes, and I don't need a wife now. Inside joke, I guess, for the community. I know what you're saying. That's funny. That's the tingle, Tiffany. We'll call it the tingle for Tim. Tim, if you're on the call. Yeah. Well, so who has something to share? I want to hear from you. Comment, experience, question. Joel, can you show me the list here? Eric says, I would suggest doing a 30-day media fast. You will be amazed on how you feel. Yeah, Eric, the more I spent in this place after my transformation with Don, the less I could even read. I used to read multiple books a week. I couldn't read anything anymore. Anyone I tune into on YouTube or anything now is just kind of sounds like noise to me, just chatter. Yeah, I encourage. I remember when I got into that motorcycle crash last summer, and the first couple days, I mean, well, for a while I was pretty well bedridden, so I was sitting in the chair here, and I hadn't watched even movies for a while because of how crazy busy everything was. Ego had me on the goose chase, and I started watching movies, and Don shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, make sure you're spending more time in your divine focus than the movies you're watching." You know, I'm like, he's right. He's right. And sure enough, I started doing that. And even though the doctor's hospital told me that I needed to get surgery, screws in my shoulder, all that stuff, I told them just give me a little bit. And next thing you know, I was just spending all that time in the divine focus, and body miraculously healed itself. Didn't need any screws. Shoulder was at 100% about a month after. LK says, so Al Gore is the only politician of a high level who Don tried to approach. Just think if one high level person went through the process and then let members close to him know the power. Could be a small snowball effect. Absolutely, LK. Yeah, and you know what? Al Gore wasn't even open enough to go through the process. So Don had an interaction with him and called him on his shit, as Don does. But Al never surrendered to the whole process. So fully agree with you that highly influential people that already have a huge system. It reminds me of Don working with Jim Balsley, the co-CEO of RIM, the BlackBerry guys, and they had thousands of employees. And after Don worked with Jim, a while later, he was at one of their like company events, just kind of on the sidelines, and he was near a pool and had a conversation with the guy, and another employee overheard the conversation, and he jumped in and said, "Hey, I know who you are. I know the exact day that you worked with my boss, Jim, because the entire culture of the company changed that day." So like imagine, right? Thousands of people in that system, and how much it shifted just from the leader getting rid of all his toxic patterns in one day. So absolutely, we are definitely calling out for people of high influence. That's the way that we really snowball this bigger, faster, stronger for sure. Linda says, I never tune into the media anymore. Yeah, definitely. I can't even go on like Facebook and stuff anymore. It's like, what am I going to watch? Like, seriously, whose status am I going to read? You know, Joshua's that he's still in the walker 2 years later after running. Like, it just annoys me. Like, crazy. Linda says, Joe Dispenza healed himself this way. Yeah, actually, Joe is one of the definitely the higher level guys. I've gone through a lot of his stuff and just didn't find like a actual process to get there and get rid of all the toxic patterns. Just, and not to call him out, I have respect for him as I do for everyone else, but it's just literally all the programs I tried before didn't get rid of the patterns. So I can only focus on the one that worked. Tim says, I am on while I drive today. Thanks. Oh, awesome, Tim. Yeah, the O word, the tingle for Tim. Tiffany says, I go on to watch you guys only. That's amazing. Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for always being here. So no one wants to come on and say anything, eh? Gilbert packing, getting ready for his his trip. Well, I'm excited. My brother's going to be here tomorrow. Going to be picking him up at the airport, and he had a back and forth. You know, his fiance didn't want him to go, so he almost stayed because of that. And then we had a chat, and all good. Vanessa says she has no microphone. We had a chat, and then he's like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna come, and he sent me a picture of his flight itinerary and his IAMDIVINITY questionnaire. So he's doing his questionnaire on the plane over here, and I just couldn't be more overjoyed for someone in my family really committing to the process. Well, I'm good. You got anything to share?
Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't have did the divine focus midstream. Sorry, guys. Now I just want to go back to that. Sam's got some stuff to share though.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just doing my divine focus well and just downloading. So I'm a little bit out of it, but yeah, just super exciting to have all you guys just on the same consciousness. You know, it's interesting because it's grown and evolved so quickly since we first started. It's only been like 1 month, right? Not even, actually less, right? It's been 26 days since we started doing these live calls. And so yeah, we don't need a whole bunch of people. It's not about the quantity of people that are doing this, you know, it's about the quality and being in that state and holding it for as long as possible. No matter what happens, if you're getting out, just coming back into it, you know, however long it takes. We all have, you know, Jamie just shared, he wasn't, you know, he had that 1 hour earlier. And yeah, I mean, myself, like yesterday I ate a donut. And I knew I shouldn't have ate the donut, and I just like felt like absolute crap. So it's like we have this knowing, we know what we need, where we need to go, and what's the next step. And it doesn't require planning or trying to map it out or have a framework or whatever. It's just really just tapping back in, and you have this knowing on where you need to be, what you need to say, who you need to talk to. And with that being said, you know, we did promise that we were going to have the website ready and all that stuff. But you know, we had hired a guy. Oh, Gilbert. Oh yeah, let him in. Yeah, we had hired a guy, and he was a little bit of a lag. And interestingly enough, like he hasn't gone through the divinity process. But I hired my guy David, and he had gone through the divinity process. And it's interesting because now that I'm thinking about it, like David got all of his stuff done in like 2 days, and is like bam, 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 bam. He just like executed so easily, and it's like completely in alignment with what we're creating. And then the other guy that didn't, he still hasn't even started, and has been like a few days. So there's like no procrastination, there's no level of doubt. It's just this inner knowing. And like I just want you guys to, it's really awesome that you just did that divine focus with everyone right midstream, which was completely unplanned. But that, imagine using that power to share from that place. Imagine all of the different programs that you've ever done. Imagine if you were coming from that place, how much more further you would have been. And obviously it didn't work out for a reason. You're here now. And Jamie and I were talking about this, is like, not that it matters, but this has the ability to be the biggest affiliate like like company in the world. And so we're super excited to get these things rolled out for you. We have so much innovative things. Jamie's invested so much money into really making this in alignment with what we're trying to create. So like I'll share a little bit. So we have like the new website roll that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days. Probably the next two to 3 days. Definitely before the 7th. So you guys have up until the 7th to get access to the free membership. But we'll roll out the free membership. Can you put funds in, or do we need to wait till you get this up? No, you can actually still. You can still. We'll have the onboarding call after this, but we'll have the new website roll out in the next few days. We're gonna have the new membership, so it'll be easier, because I've had a couple of people say like, "Hey, like, I don't know where to go to the divinity process. I don't know how to access the forex stuff and all that stuff." So we're cleaning it up, and that'll be coming out probably at the same time. We're also coming out with the smart contracts, which people probably don't know what that is, but essentially it's going to track everything. And whenever you refer someone to whatever product, you actually get paid instantly, which is really cool. So you're getting paid to share divinity. You're getting paid to share this feeling that is just unexplainable. I mean, who doesn't want this? I mean, of course, the ego is going to be very resistant to it, but you're going to find all the right people. And it's been a load of fun, like working with people like Gilbert. I don't have to motivate him. I don't gotta motivate Gilbert, like all of those old affiliate plans where you gotta do motivational calls and all this stuff. Like that's not needed here. You just have to stand in your light, be here now, be in this feeling, and all of the right people are going to show up. And I see Gilbert just raised his hand. So yeah, right. Yeah, Gilbert, go ahead. Go ahead, buddy. You can
are you sure? All right, cool beans, brother. I just wanted to share more blessings so far that's been happening. Remember, I told you I got tested yesterday by a really good friend of mine that was hardcore spiritual too, and that same day, at the very end of the day, I was like, I knew I was going to get blessed. I knew I was going to get blessed. And then it's funny because I met an individual yesterday, and he's so cool. His name's Arturo, and I've always been wanting to learn welding. So we started talking. I told him about this process. He got so excited, and he's like, bro, I could teach you how to weld. Easy. I could teach. I just need to come back home first. And then not only that, but he said that he literally created his very first, it's like a midget version of a, oh my God, I'll put it in the group chat for the daily updates. But it's like one of those really cool, those fires. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a miniature stove. I don't know how to explain it, but It's a rocket stove, and he created a mini one, the very first one he's ever created before. So, and then he literally told me when he reached out yesterday, he said he just had finished it. This morning he goes, "Hey bro, I want to give it to you. It's the very first one I've ever made. I put a lot of love and effort and energy into it, but I want to give it to you, bro." And I was just like, what? So I've been wanting a rocket stove for a while too, but he created a mini portable one that has a grill on top so you can actually, cook on it and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just like, and then crazy thing, here's even more crazier thing than that. Okay. So after he told me that, I just started bawling. I was like, man, this process is making me cry like all the time. And I started crying like with just pure joy and bliss, bro. And I kid you not, it started to rain, and it rained hard. It rained real hard. I don't know if it was timing or coincidental, but it rained. It rained the hardest it's rained in the past like whole year. So I'm just, I'm just grateful, man. Just wanted to share that little bit of more light that's coming through. I'm not giving up on the process. I finally saw that third video, bro. And I'm sorry I wasn't on. I'm always on Facebook though, listening in. And I was taking a shower, getting ready because I need to head out to the post office to see if I can get that expedited passport right now. So I was just a little trying to rush, and I still have to like gift wrap all your gifts too, because they're very fragile and beautiful, and you all deserve every bit of it. So I'm extremely grateful and looking forward to seeing you guys out there, bro. Woo!
Yeah. Hey, bro, just to say, there is no such thing as coincidences, right? That was all you. You're powerful. You're a creator. You're the creator, right? And so just wanna acknowledge that, and I just want you to know that is who you are, and we're super excited. We've literally mentioned your name probably every single day since you've first started coming onto these calls. So we're looking forward to see you, bro. Give you a big old hug.
Likewise, bro. Love you guys. Keep that light bright, please.
You know we will, bro. You too, man. We'll see you soon.
Okay. All right, brother. Have a beautiful one. Thank you for letting me share.
Of course. Anyone else want to share? Okay, awesome. So what we'll do is, what time is it? 12:11. Okay, so we're much ahead of schedule. So yeah, like I was saying, we are rolling out a whole bunch of new things for you guys, make it as streamlined as possible. Just give us a little bit more patience. It's not going to be a whole other month, I promise you. I promise you that. And oh, 11:11. Beautiful, Joanne. Yeah, so just invite. I would, we've extended it so until February the 7th. Start inviting people to the streams, get people locked in and signed up. Yeah, this is literally the last free transformation, so definitely make sure to take advantage of it. And yeah, with that being said, if you need help with the onboarding, we'll be there for you at 1 a.m. We'll drop the link. Can you drop that link below? Yeah, I'm looking forward to go back into my divine focus. It was just so many tingles. Woo. But oh, Linda says I referred someone who's not showing up. I gave him my link like I did the others, but he's not there. He is also interested in investing. So did you send him the partner link, or did you send him the link just to get signed up like as a member, community member?
I don't know the difference. The only link I have is the one I've given to everybody, and they're showing up. I don't know.
So you'll have to go into Post Affiliate Pro, and if you
He's not there. Yeah, he's not there.
okay, well, send it get on the onboarding call with Will, and we'll help you out with that.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome, Patricia. Or Linda, sorry. Alrighty. Well, Eric, I have been waiting till the Divinity site is going. Will it be too late to get in? What have you been waiting for exactly? Can you clarify, Eric? What have you, the financial stuff? Okay. Well, you might miss out on the crypto fund because the way the crypto is going, the crypto fund may be closing out here in the next few days. Because Josh said once it hits a certain range, he's just gonna close out the crypto fund. As far as the Forex fund, that'll be 20. I mean, you could join whenever, but I would like for you to just take a look at that. Like procrastinating on it. If you want to do it, you might as well just do it. If you've already done the Divinity, you know, yeah, there's really no point in waiting. I would just get started. I would get on the onboarding call. Yeah, it's a crypto fund is still open, so I'm not sure when it will be closing. The way the crypto is, it's like it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now, 2 weeks, a month, it could be next year. Honestly, it just depends on how crypto wants to move. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be a part of that, I would just get locked in ASAP. Send the money, get on the onboarding call with Will, and he'll help you out with all of that. But yeah, I mean, Josh has been really, he's been getting into some really amazing projects. I think he said he just got into like the biggest project of his career. He's like, this is gonna 100x for sure. So just a little fair warning. Alrighty. Well, I don't think there's anything else. So can you please send the onboarding link again? Thank you all so much. Will is on it. He'll drop that right here in the chat. We'll be doing the onboarding call at 1 a.m. Philippines time. I believe that's what, 12 noon Eastern. Alrighty, so should be there in just a moment. We'll see you tomorrow, same time at 11 p.m. Philippines time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We love you guys so much, and we're looking forward to continue this mission with you all. All the love from us to you. I am Divinity.